Mysterious, mysterious. Who is this guy? Well, there's lots of theories. Here we are in Genesis 14. We are practicing our Hebrew, doing a few verses a day, doing some parsing and some random review. So this paragraph in our story starts with a noun, Melchizedek, Melech Shalem, Hotzi Lechem Vayayin. So we've introduced a new participant in the story. We've put a noun first clause instead of a preterite, so we're starting our paragraph. When we start paragraphs with non-preterites, I pull those non-preterite lines out to the margin just because I think that's appropriate for starting paragraph. Okay, so we've got Melchizedek, king of Shalem, which is generally understood to be Jerusalem. Hotzi. Now let's work on that verb. Nothing at the end. What's at the beginning? Yeah, we've got a hey, and we have the sound ho. Is it a ho fall? Well, no, it's not a ho fall. When we've got a hey and we have a ho fall, we should have a different U-class vowel. Any U-class vowel other than a cholim vav, like a shuruk or a kibbutz. We get the cholim vav because of the combination of the hifils, or maybe original patak, although in this conjugation, the hifil doesn't usually have patak there, with a first vav. So this verbal root originally was vav for the first radical. All such verbs turned into first yod in the cow. Our root is yatsa, but the original vav was protected when we had a prefix in front of it, and it didn't change into a yod, but that vav has turned into a cholim vav. Hotzi, this is a hifil perfect 3ms of yatsa. And since it's a third person form, we see the chirik yod that goes with the hifil. A hofal would not have an E-class theme vowel. So Melchizedek, the king of Shalem, caused to go out. He brought out lechem and yayin, food and wine. And then we have a parenthetic note about him, Vahu Kohen Le'el Elyon. He was a priest to God Most High. And then we have Vayivarakehu. And when we look at that, we see Ehu at the end. It's not Ennu, it's Ehu. It's a 3ms suffix, and we put the short form of those suffixes onto either gessives or preterites. Vav patak, no dagesh at the front because the yod is over a vocal shava. When we're looking at the behavior of R1, it's over kametz. Maybe we think nifal right away, but the prefix is over shava, not an E-class vowel. We're looking at vocal shava, A-class vowel, and then no dagesh forte because R2 is a guttural. So this is a PL. It's trying to be vocal shava patak dagesh. It's a PL preterite, 3ms plus a 3ms pronominal suffix at the end. He blessed him, Vayomer, he said, Baruch Avram Le'el Elyon, Konei Shemayim Va'aretz. So let's look at Baruch. Nothing at the end, nothing at the beginning. R1 has a kametz, but there's one other signal we need to see. Yeah, the shuruk in between R2 and R3 is telling us cow passive participle. The speaking environment here is volitional, so we could have may he be blessed, but English will work fine with just blessed. Blessed be Abram by the Lord Most High. Konei, what do we see with R1? Yeah, we see cholim with R1, so this is a participle, calactive participle, and an old use of this root is create, so creator of heaven and earth. Of course, the creating happened way in the past, and so it's substantival, the creator, or you could say the one who created, but we don't need all that verbiage in this kind of context. In some contexts, you will be forced by the meaning to translate with that technique, and that will be fine. And so then he says, Uvaruk el elyon asher migain sarecha biyadeka. So, and blessed be El Elyon, who migain tsareka, ka from ta from ata, to ms, tsar is adversary. What's the connecting yod in there for? Yeah, because it's plural, right? So when we've got pronominal suffix going on a plural noun, we should see connecting yod, whether it's masculine or feminine. Your enemies biyadeka, so into your hand. Now, what's migain? Yeah, we can pretty much guess from context, I suppose. But when we look at the pieces, there's no endings, there's no prefix, there's no preposition. What's the pattern that we see with R1? Yeah, we've got mem over hirik and then dagesh forte in R2. I suppose maybe you could have wondered, is that the preposition min on something really short? But the root is actually mem gimel nun, and this would be a PL perfect. It's not a common word, just like kana for create is not terribly common. But it means something like to hand over, to deliver. May Abram be blessed by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand. So this is a perfect fientive in a background clause, and so a perfective translation in English is very appropriate. So we should close the quote there, and then vayetain lo Maaser Mikol. So Vayetain, hopefully we recognize that pretty easily. It's from Natan, and the noon of Natan has become the Dagesh Forte and the Tav. He gave to him. This word perhaps we don't know, but maybe we recognize Esser or Asar, the number 10. And then we've added a mem on the front to modify it into a different but related meaning, a tenth. So he gave to him a tenth from everything, Mikol. And then we're going to introduce a new actor, or at least we're going to have another participant in the scene speak up, and so that's going to give us another paragraph starting at verse 21. So lots of discussion around Melchizedek, and I'm not going to solve any of it for you, but hopefully we had a nice little quick review of our Hebrew.